Hangar number 3 on the edge of a small airfield looks unremarkable. Worn doors, peeling paint, the smell of old metal and oil. But inside this building, work is being done that is difficult to overestimate. No modern aircraft are being built here, and no commercial flights are being prepared. This is where history is brought back to life. At the center of the hangar stands the fuselage of a World War II era aircraft. At first glance, it looks like a pile of aluminum, rivets, and cables. But for those who work here every day, it is more than metal. It is a witness to its era, a product of the engineering thinking of its time, and a memory of the people who once took it into the sky. Restoration is carried out by many different people. Some come from the aviation industry, others from museums, and some had no technical background at all before learning through years of hands-on experience. What unites them is respect for authenticity and a commitment to preserving the aircraft as it once was decades ago. The work begins long before any tools are picked up. First comes research, archives, blueprints, factory manuals, old photographs, military reports, and personal pilot diaries are studied. Sometimes a single critical document takes months to find, requiring contact with foreign archives or private collectors. Without this research, it is impossible to understand how the aircraft originally looked, what materials were used, and what changes it underwent during its service life. One of the most challenging stages is assessing the aircraft's condition. Many vintage airplanes spent decades outdoors or were stored disassembled. Corrosion, metal fatigue, and missing components require a careful and methodical approach. Modern replacements cannot simply be installed. Any replacement part must match the original in shape, material, and manufacturing method. Blacksmiths and mechanics often fabricate parts by hand. Modern machines can help, but manual craftsmanship remains at the core of the process. Rivets are installed the same way factory workers did in the 1940s. Fabric-covered wings are stretched and treated using traditional techniques. Even paint is sometimes recreated according to its original chemical composition to ensure historical accuracy. Museum teams play a crucial role. They ensure that restoration does not turn into modernization. Their responsibility is to balance safety with historical authenticity. If the aircraft is intended to fly, modern safety components may be discreetly integrated, but always in a way that does not disrupt the original appearance or structural logic. Enthusiasts hold a special place in these projects. Many volunteer their time, coming to the hangar after work or on weekends. Among them are engineers, pilots, historians, and students. Some polish metal, others sort bolts and fittings, and some simply make tea and listen to the stories of more experienced colleagues. These people form a living bridge between past and present. Restoration can take years. Projects are sometimes paused due to lack of funding and later resumed thanks to donations or grants. Each completed stage feels like a small victory. A mounted engine, a restored instrument panel, a successful ground test. The most emotional moment comes when the aircraft rolls onto the runway again. Even if it will never fly and remains a static museum exhibit, the moment is symbolic. It proves that the effort was worthwhile, and if the aircraft does take to the air, its flight becomes a living reminder that history is not confined to books and photographs. For museum visitors, a vintage aircraft is an exhibit. For restorers, it is the result of thousands of hours of labor, mistakes, doubts, and joy. They know every rivet, every seam, every crack that was repaired, and it is thanks to these people that the past does not gather dust in archives but continues to live on, in metal, in the sound of an engine, and in the silhouette of an aircraft against the sky.